Langrisser having their 6th anniversary is quite an amazing feat. Most other gacha games don't even survive more than 2 years. As with most other anniversary characters that we've been getting, they're usually busted. And so this one is no exception whatsoever. Enya is our 6th anniversary character, and she is, well, broken support character. Seems like long games just can't help themselves whenever it comes to characters like that. So what is she all about? What's the hype around her? She is part of the Origin Mythical and Nihilist faction who can be either Holy or Mage unit. Her talent increases are in, at the end of action, she can choose to predict what skill that an ally unit will use for one turn. If the prediction is met, the selected skill is reduced by 5, which has a cooldown. The effect of prophecy cannot be immunized and be dispelled. When a prophecy comes true, Enya gets a leader that increases her range, which stacks 3 times, and if it's maxed out, then the ally whose prophecy comes true can act again. So you definitely want her to at least be at 5 stars. She'll be able to use her prophecy more often, which means skill cooldown on whoever, plus extra range for support or whatever it is, especially that act again. But there's gonna be way more usages when it comes to these. Starting with the 1C skill, which is a faction buff for the Euless team, with a special buff of having 15% more damage in battle. When triggering at agains, it dispels 2 debuffs and become immune to it for the duration of that turn. So let's say you get like attack and defense down, that lasts for 2 turns. So when she gets the chance to reapply her faction buff, it'll be dispelled and you'll be immune to those 2 stat down for 2 turns. It shouldn't be an all immunity down, it should be just immunity to a specific one. Had a hard time trying to like get a good visual look on it, but I believe that's how it should work. Her other 1C has a passive where by triggering her prophecy, she gets immunity to being silenced for 2 turns. She can heal 1 ally with this, but if she has 2 more leader stacked, then she can choose another ally. Not too bad. If you're really worried about being silenced, then I highly recommend using Swordsmith Metal or using Holy Ring, because more often than not, you'll most likely carry her faction buff, plus you're not exactly gonna be maintaining that silence immunity 24/7. Her third 1C has a passive where if the prophecy comes true, then its cooldown is reduced. It's a single target skill that does more damage for each leader stack. She only has one unique 2C, which is an AoE that attacks within 3 blocks wide and 6 blocks long, clearing any terrain effects while healing her team that reduces its own cooldown by 1. Nice that it can reach extremely far, and she does have more 2C skill, like mass heal to better fulfill her support role at a consistent rate, or you can just simply make her a sub DPS. Finally with the 3C, its first part allows her to cast an illusion of whatever ally, even the enemy. It creates a water mirror and 2 rings around her for 2 turns. She can act again afterwards. If the water mirror exists, the skill is replaced with Sequence of Fate, which in PvP, each character can only be targeted by this skill 1 time. The illusion will have original stats and current effects. When the illusion dies, the cooldown of the skill is increased by 1. The second part of this 3C has a passive where her talent skill can be used on the enemies. When a prophecy is triggered, an additional stack of leader will be obtained, and when a prophecy is triggered on an enemy, their cooldown is increased by 2. If the number of stacks of leader is max, the enemy will be stunned, but in PvP, it immediately ends their turn. The water mirror has a command effect where allies within range takes less AoE damage and heals after their turn. Her 3C gets turned into this assist skill that's used on an ally where they take less damage and immunity to all debuffs for 2 turns. If the target is in a water illusion, the displacement effect is also triggered, causing them to swap places with their original body. When it comes to support, I honestly believe that, in my humble opinion, that she is the most versatile one to date. Just take a look at her 3C again. The possibilities with this are endless, since whatever illusion that you choose, it literally copies all that they have, like their buffs, skills, and even their soldiers too. So you can copy, like, let's say a strong DPS like Isolde for damage, even a healer like, let's say, Celica for a double revive, even Liana for a double at again. The endless possibilities that she can create will massively improve your gameplay by being completely flexible in any given situation. Oh, let's also add the fact that she can keep her team alive with heals, action buff for the Euless team, provide other means of strong support like damage mitigation, skill cooldown and such. And if you want to, she can play the role of this sub DPS. If you have a spare Nightbloom lying around just collecting dust, you want to give it to her. Or maybe snatch one from someone else since she's going to be providing all of these supports. Plus the spelling stuff isn't exactly strong for her. I can highly without a doubt say that I can recommend everyone to pick up Enya due to how drastically that she can enhance the playing field. Even if you can't unlock her 3C, I still would recommend you pull for her since anniversary characters won't return until every 6 months. Is she a must need? Not necessarily, but I can almost say for certain that if you have her, she will greatly improve your gameplay by a huge amount. We will be getting 4 new soldiers compared to CN where they only got 2 soldiers cause global is global. So let's start with the first 2 released that CN got first, and one of them is the Mage Soldier. If no damage was dealt, then they are healed. At the start of the next turn, when entering battle, their attack is increased and take less damage. Yeah, there's hardly any defensive Mage Soldiers. Really good even if your character is an attacker, though they won't hit as hard, at least you'll be able to sustain and survive a bit better. The Fly Soldier, they get more attack and defense, and when fighting enemies with HP equal or lower than, it's increased even more. If you do have the Ragnarok equipment, then for sure you'll be able to get this bonus. Even characters with self-healing too. Then these guys will feel perfect to use for both damage and bulk. And so our third one is a Holy Soldier. They get more attack for every 1 block moved and also healing too. Most of the other offensive Holy Soldiers do have tight restriction on them, so it's really nice that this one isn't harsh on that. We do need more of them, plus a bit of sustainability is really nice. The last soldier that we got is an Assassin. Now with these ones, they have attack and crit rate up. If in a danger zone, they get more attack and crit damage, which is far better than any assassin soldiers that we've seen. Especially really amazing if your character can act again. It'll be a lot more effective on them. Like with the 4 new soldiers, there are 4 new equips, starting with the weapon. In battle, crit and crit damage are increased for each block move. So if you don't have the Crystal Stinger, I can say that these will be the best solution for you. The armor, it has a 100% chance to dispel a buff on the enemy in battle, which sounds really good, but you want an armor that you know can keep you alive. The helmet, if there's an ally nearby, both the hero and the ally gets a buff where they take less AoE damage and immune to silence. Which in the single target meta, it won't be as effective, but the silence could be nice combined with this new accessory. Each time an ally takes damage from a skill, the hero receives 1 stack of this buff where, at the end of action or taking damage, it heals allies whose HP is less than 80% within 2 blocks. That stacks 5 times. I find this one to be very OP. Some might say broken even. You're gonna find yourself being able to clutch in some situations, though with single target being a common thing. It's not really exactly possible to see this put to work, but against AoEs most definitely. Since you do want to play around your allies all the time for those emergency heals, the new helmet could be a good combo to try to maintain silence immunity. That will be your only issue, and also fixed damage and dealing with assassin. The exclusive equipment that we got is a helmet for Jayce. At the end of his turn, if he dealt damage, the cooldown of his lowest skill is reduced by 1. For each of his tile there is, he ignores magic defense. No. Just no. He does not need that skill cooldown. They're already short as it is, but I'm sorta kinda fine with them having more damage there. Jayce is already an annoying character as it is. For the casting skills, first up is Ares. Activating the effective battle formation talent removes the cooldown of his 3C by 1. Each time it is removed, the cooldown of his attack skill is reduced. It would be fine only if they were swapped around. His 3C has a 4-turn cooldown in total, and the attack skill that you would bring normally on him has a short cooldown if you're able to land a kill with it. Second is Bernie. After using his 3C, he can act again and the movement is equal to whatever mobility that he had left. This is such an unnecessary buff in my opinion. Like his SP form already solved the issue with his mobility, along with making him a mixed attacker plus the bulk. It's insanely great though. He's going to be more efficient. Third is Transcender. His ruinous power is increased by 1 extra time. If no damage is dealt, then he gets 1. When activating the shield effect, he gets a revive. It's nice and all, but I say that he should get a revive in general, which will only heal him by 1% HP. And when it triggers, boom, he'll get that shield. Plus, a funny shenanigan is his 3C act again, which does the HP swap, then boom, a kill. How funny does that sound? Am I crazy for that? I don't think I am. Transcender isn't like a crazy character, so possibly. Actually, it sounds crazy now that I think about it. The fourth one is Toma. He gets an extra range. After dealing fixed damage, the cooldown of his talent form is reduced, and when it's active, he does more fixed damage. I feel like it should be just when he does damage in general, cause that transformation has a 6 to 5 turn cooldown. If he had another AoE, I'd be okay with it, but his Thxs is his only AoE, and the dude is an SR unit too. He wants to be Kirika so bad, like this would be Kirika if she was an SR unit. But this dude can't do like any meaningful way of being a threat without being in that transformation form. But it is a classic SR unit treatment though, so some are good, some are not bad, some are just outright horrible. Some of the interesting banners that should be coming up is a raid up with Emir. Insanely self-sufficient DPS who is hard to get rid of. He's a bond unlocker for Celica, and there's also Hoffman, who actually needs for bonds. A wishlist banner that goes up to Taranto and Tabris, an equipment banner that has the up-to-date equips, even the 2 broken ones, then the return of Wetham, Apotheosis, and Awakener. I highly recommend people to pull Awakener if you don't have her. She's a must summon as she is a reliable faction buff for the time characters, the only best one. She is quite useful as a strong DPS who can control the pace of the game. As for the content that we should be getting, a farmable event to get a faction buff character, only Langrisser 1 to 5 though. So you see characters like Ledin, Altimor, Diehards, Landius, a new Portal Leap chapter, the Eternal Flameforge, which we actually got an update early. Classic global move. A share event for rewards, some gifts that are really good like 30 vouchers plus the subscription for 50 crystals every day, which lasts 30 days. A login event, they even updated the total login days reward. People get a fate along with the usual all stage unlock, extra daily chance, gold vouchers from dailies, and floating city output increase. An event to spend tons of crystals to get a skin for tiers, along with the other skins if you missed it, plus more rewards. Jack's Lucky Treasure, a lotto event basically, an equipment bag that you can buy for 20 bucks. Same case with the hero bag, that should only go up to Tiana and Xeon. A challenge mode for the territory mode, more content for the Aussie game mode, a quality of life feature that I'm sure that a lot of us will enjoy for PvP. It's the overall stats, so you'll be able to see stuff like your performance in whatever season, your win rate, how many times I used this character and such. Speaking of PvP, some of the biggest stuff that we're gonna get will be a limited time game mode, which is just Apex Arena, but the pick and bans are different. So there will be 5 columns, and the pick and ban will start from top to bottom. You'll only be able to ban 1 character each time because of this, but only 1 time you can do a double ban, and that is pretty much it. This thing here, which you guys might roll your eyes, is the Ocean Treasure, which is another battle pass. Yeah, and it's also permanent too. It pretty much just works exactly the same way as the Flameforge. Do challenges to get XP, to level up, get rewards. If you buy the Flag of Courage subscription, you'll have access to the bottom portion for more rewards, like these blue stars to buy random equipment, or Spirit Marshal. Again, this thing is permanent, and it all lasts 2 weeks before it resets, then rinse and repeat. Lastly, this big event, possibly the biggest one that we might ever see. It's called the Blood Moon Eden, and it's a combination of both the 2 fan favorite game mode, which are Endless Voyage and Skyline Tactics. I'm not gonna dive deep into it yet, cause it looks like that it might not come into this update. Keyword might. CN got this 2 months later, I believe, and I feel like that's what they might do to keep the player base busy since we're already getting so much, but who knows. But in case if it does, which I'm hoping it doesn't, just treat it as they were advertising it, both Endless Voyage and Skyline Tactics combined. Though you might feel more familiar with Endless Voyage. If that was the only event that you did, it basically feels like that. But I am very excited for it because it has the same concept as the Endless Voyage, and it is possibly the biggest event that we will ever have, besides the Mirror World Challenge, I believe, whatever it's called. I know this segment is already long, but I feel like it's good information to know about these extra stuff if you guys are curious about it. Starting with the SP unit teaser, it's kind of funny that they showed this to us because in CN, that SP unit already got released. which is Thxs. And a lot of people already knew way beforehand who it was. Something that I was really surprised about is SP Soldiers, who are also out on CN. More character teaser, which you guys might know that they're already out, some of them at least. Even a free SSR, even a teaser which people speculated is the Dead or Alive collab, which we still haven't heard news about still. And a recollection of fans of your Langrisser journey. As for some of the new skins we should be getting, an Echo Light for Enya and the new Holy Soldier. I don't like how that soldier's looking. It looks like it's probably up to no good. But Enya though, she is radiating elegance energy. I like it a lot, it looks very cool. The Music Tiara skin, which you gotta spend a bunch of crystals. You wanna know how much? Just like with the other ones, almost 40k, which you can also get past skins too if you manage that. Also another music skin for Grenier, which all of us should be getting from the share events once the milestone has been reached. A summon skin for Kaguya, this one, hopefully it gets released, and it's not the same case with my wedding skin, where it came out like a month late, but the summon skins are having a rerun, so maybe or maybe not. DN got this in his update, but global being global. And because it is December when this update drops, we may be getting seasonal skins for all servers. Luckily, I recently found these out, otherwise I would have failed to mention it. It's both Christmas skins for both Isolda and Andrio. I like both these a lot. I think when they do come out, I'm gonna be getting them immediately, especially Andrio. Most likely that we should be getting them. They are seasonal skins, and they do like to push them out, just like any of the other ones. Then finally, a Macho Lotta skin for Tatalia. Well, that was about everything, if not most of everything that the global side of Langrisser will be getting. As you guys may be aware, because it's global, some things may change, some things may get added. It's just how they are. Other than that, Enya though, broken. I can highly recommend everyone to pull for her. And while you're at it, if you don't have Awakener, you also want to get her too. She is such an important character to get. Overall though, there's a bunch of amazing stuff to look forward to. Perhaps they cooked way too much. Enya being broken, the new accessory, Jayce. Very looking forward to the content too. Like, the one I'm very excited for is the Blood Moon Eden. The Endless Voyage is my favorite event of all time, so if this one has a beat, which they did say, I believe that it was gonna be insanely big, then I am pretty hyped. Like, it might instantly be like my top 1 favorite event in this game. I honestly just cannot wait for it and try it out for myself. But yeah, I'm also really looking forward to Bernie's casting, even trying out the new soldiers. But that's all I got. If you guys did enjoy this video, feel free to like, subscribe, want to see more, and feel free to let me know down in the comments how you guys feel about the 6th anniversary and what you guys are looking forward to. So yeah, thanks for watching. Fellow Z.